Okay, on your screen we have the lab data file, and you can see there's a fair number of columns in this spreadsheet. So we have a column for invoice, customer, zip code of the customer, the date of the sale, the SKU, so this is the unique identifier for the inventory item being sold. We have a description of the inventory item, the quantity of what we sold, the sale, and then the cost of what we sold. So the sales price and the cost of what we sold. And our task here is to figure out profitability by product type and by customer. Okay, so how can we do this? Well, the fastest way here is we're going to create a pivot table, but before we create that pivot table, we need to actually calculate profit. So we're given sales and costs, but there is no variable yet that calculates profit. So we want to create a new column called gross profit, and this will be equal to sales minus cost. Okay. And so we want to copy the formatting here. So I'm just going to select the entire column, column I, and then I'm going to come up here to the format painter button. So I'm going to grab the paintbrush and I'm going to say paste this format into column J, and then we can resize to make it fit nice. And while we're doing it, we can do this for all of the columns. So I'll just select columns A through J, and I'll double click on one of these little columns here, and this should, yes. And so now we have resized all the columns so that everything is visible. And this is important for the description field because some of these descriptions are kind of long and they get dropped off if we don't expand the size of the column. All right. So now we have the setup that we want. Our next step is to replicate this formula all the way down to the bottom. There's a couple different ways we can do it. The easiest way is to go over the bottom part of the cell that we're currently in where we constructed the formula until our cursor turns into this black cross and we can double click. Okay, and what that does is it carries the formula down all the way down to the bottom of the data set. And you can see we have gross profit now calculated for everything. If you didn't want to do it that way, we'll just do Control Z here to undo it. If you wanted to do it a different way, another way you could do it is you could grab the corner and drag manually down to the bottom. That will accomplish the same thing. If you don't want to do it that way, you can click on this cell, hit Control C on your keyboard. That's the copy command. And then we'll just scroll to the bottom and we'll copy that entire formula into all of these cells, and we get the same result. Okay, so lots of different ways to get this gross profit formula. But now what we want to do is we want to select this entire data set that we have in this tab, and we are going to create a pivot table. So we're going to say Insert Pivot Table, and we're going to use the range that we highlighted, and we're going to paste this into a new worksheet. We'll click OK. Our next step here is we want profitability first by customer. Okay, so let's drag customer into the rows. So this is going to create a table of customer numbers, and in the columns we want gross profit. So we want the value field down here to capture gross profit. And so now this gives us gross profit by customer number. Okay, so to sort this pivot table, we're going to click on the first number in the pivot table, right click, and then we're going to say sort, and we're going to say sort largest to smallest. This will give us the largest profitability for each customer. Okay, so pretty straightforward. It looks like customer number 2047 resulted in us earning profit of 357.7. We could do the same thing if we wanted to see this by SKU, by inventory item. So instead of having customer number in the rows, we can remove that field and then we can add SKU in its place. And so now we have the gross profit sorted by type of product. Okay, so real easy to do, and a quick way to see which products are the most profitable and which customers are the most profitable.